Hi Kiwi! Alright, we are back at Hades 1, and I'm going to be running the aspect of Chiron on the bow today. Every time I use a basic attack, the enemy is marked for a short period of time, and my special homes in on them. I decided instead of taking the Artemis Keepsake, I'm going to go with the Mom Blossom, or the Palm Blossom rather. And we're going to run, we need 9 heat, so let's take a third level of Extreme Measures, and that pops up. So 3 levels of Extreme Measures, 1 level of middle Management, and 1 level of Tight Deadline. We'll see how this run goes. We're far from max level on the aspect of Chiron, so I think it's going to feel kind of weak.
Fame as your great relatives upon their mountaintop? Seek to be valuable, not to be known. Obscurity is not what makes you weak. Worship from mortals is a nuisance, not a boon.
Yeah, the boon is from the other gods. I am going, so just saying this early on, I have kind of messed around with the audio setup a little bit on my setup here.
The heat has risen quite considerably there, is that not so? Then if my foster brothers tampered with the temperature, I'll have to cool things off.
So I will likely be doing some audio balancing in post, but I'm hopeful this will make it a little bit better when I'm like, I'm trying not to eat my microphone, basically. Let's see, attack or special? I don't think the special damage modifier is super great on this, so I'm gonna take the attack. We can slow things down that way, and we'll hold out for a better special if we can. But you know me, the bow is probably my favorite weapon, although I'd say the rail is honestly coming up on being up there as well. But the aspect of Chiron doesn't feel exactly great to play until you have more levels in it, because you're pretty heavily nerfed in terms of what it does. You start off with, at base level, I think you start off with 4 special shots, and every level increases the number of shots. HP, we'll take another Demeter here. Maybe we can roll a rare crop and upgrade our attack, which would be pretty cool. Like, the damage is still decent, but it definitely is not, it's only about half as strong as it could be, especially if you have, like, other gods that could stack well with it, namely Dionysus would be really good with it. Let's see, special, crystal beam, snowburst. None of these are super enticing, but I guess I'll just take snowburst for now. We'll hold out, because maybe I can go for a Poseidon. I'm thinking about trying to get the Poseidon Demeter cast duo.
It's you or me, fishies.
You need Poseidon's cast and Demeter's special for that. But mostly just for completion's sake. I don't have any particular interest in it otherwise. And fish.
I think I got one. I caught a knucklehead.
That we did. But yeah, I don't know where this run is going in terms of what we're going to get. I should probably take the HP here, but the coin might get us an early shop. I don't have any levels of convenience fee. Let's go for the early level of safety. Although I am running the bow, I don't really feel that threatened. Anyway, as I was saying, I have slightly changed up my position relative to the microphone, and I'm hopeful that won't matter too much, and if it does, I will edit it in post. But let me know how this sounds compared to the usual recording, I suppose. And if it doesn't sound as great, I can kind of readjust. I increased my gain and stepped a little bit further back from the mic, so I'm basically no longer eating my microphone. It was particularly noticeable when I was recording the Pokemon episodes that, oh my goodness, my pop filter was not doing its job because I guess I was a little too close to the mic. I'm still probably too close to the mic, all things considered, but my setup doesn't really permit me to have a better location just yet.
I need.
Let's see, Flurry Shot. Hold attack to shoot rapidly, but cannot power shot. Your attack deals 200% damage to distance foes, or even better, Relentless Volley. Your special fires plus 4 shots.
Quite the bow.
So now we're going to get to see what the aspect of Cornoct is like to play when you actually have it fully upgraded, I guess. So, still not perfect, but it's a nice little increase in DPS for sure. I do foresee our DPS maybe being a problem in the later floors if we don't get lucky with a good special boon. I might honestly still take Artemis. It's either going to be Artemis or it's going to be Dionysus, I think. Ares doesn't sound good. I could make Zeus work, I guess. Oh, there's Ares right now after I said he won't work for us. What duo does Demeter and Ares have together? I don't actually know. I don't need any of these things from the shop. Let's see. Okay. Ares, what is your duo with Demeter? I don't think it's anything too exciting if I recall, but let's see. Freezing Vortex. Your cast inflicts chill, but is smaller and moves slower. That doesn't sound great. We haven't gotten it yet, so I could consider it. I don't want it, though. If I was running a melee build, maybe I'd take it. I think I'm going to hold out for Poseidon. We'll take the coin here. Anyway, in terms of real-world news, I'm coming up on the last 2 weeks of my work season, which is very exciting to recognize, but I have unintentionally signed myself up for a little bit more work than I would have liked for next week, so I am trying to record as much as I can in advance of that. Athena isn't bad here. I guess her special would be decent. Alright. I could take... Athena's special is mostly for damage here. It wouldn't be the most amazing in terms of what I could get, but it would reflect any projectiles headed my way, which is always a decent affair. I'm going to use my Chthonic Keepsake here, I think. You know what? I should have waited until I broke the armor. That was silly of me. Plus a cast in here for the increased damage from... What is it? Not Boiling Blood, is it? Actually, I think it is Boiling Blood.
Keep fighting, cousin. Fight from out of that eternal gloom. I trust you'll be joining us upon Olympus shortly.
You know what's kind of wild? All 3 procs of the Palm Blossom have ended up on the ability we got from Demeter that isn't her attack, the one that just does an AoE when I use my cast, which is pretty much exclusively useless to me. Alright, I could take her dash and just make this super safe and hold out for Dionysus or Zeus, but let's just take the... I kind of want to take the Artemis special. I don't think it's going to do much. I don't really know what to expect from this build. I think I'm going to take the dash here for safety. I don't really need safety, but it's fine. It's fine. Is there any darkness? There is. Okay. There's more Athena, so we'll take another Athena boon. I don't really need that much coin unless there's going to be a good boon offered in the shop, but I can already afford that, so let's just go for let's stack up some boons and dilute what the Palm Blossom can hit even further. Seeing as it doesn't want to hit anything of value anyway, we may as well toss it off. I'll probably take the Artemis Keepsake after all. I was hopeful that we could get a good boon starting on Tartarus, but we didn't. And even though oh wow, we already got Stubborn Roots. That's not terribly exciting to me, but I mean, none of this is really that exciting at all. Stubborn Roots really just does not feel that good to me, and I'm definitely not... I very sincerely doubt I'll need it on this run. So, we'll take Holy Shield for some defense, I guess. A Demeter and Athena Trial. Sure, we'll take that. Again, I think we're gonna ditch the Palm Blossom on the next floor. It has not been kind to us. We'll take Demeter first, because Athena is much easier to deal with here. Demeter's Aid or her special. Neither is super appealing to me. So, I guess we'll take her call. Meh.
I think we understand by now that when you test my patience, I shall test your ability to survive.
You'll find that especially with one of the safest weapons in the game, my ability to survive is quite effective, or quite good. It doesn't feel like the aspect of Chiron does a whole lot of damage, and that's why boons like the special from Dionysus scale so well with it, because the damage isn't from your special anymore, it's from your poison, or your hangover damage, rather. Also, I'm really excited to see that the episode that I posted with the, ridiculous Dionysus special build
I hope we can move past this little incident and keep our focus on the task at hand.
on the Eris rail is doing so well. It's kind of fun when you see the big numbers every now and again. Still nothing really that great. I guess when you deflect attacks, deal more damage. We'll just take the 5% damage reduction. We're a survivor build at the moment. I am going to take the nectar just because I can stockpile that. The gems are nice too, but I mean, this is going to be another one of those runs where we don't have anything to make it shine yet, but hopefully that will happen sooner than later. Oh, you know what? This actually does decent damage. I can one-shot these guys with the cast. That's kind of funny. So, okay, you know how I was complaining about Sudden Chill, the boon that affects our cast and gives us an AoE?
You dare?
Turns out that AoE is pretty big and decent in terms of damage output, so maybe I shouldn't have sold it off just yet. Like, it's still gonna fall off real hard, but if I can cast near enemies, it's one-shotting these Tartarus enemies, so you know what? Maybe not as bad as I gave it. I should give it a little bit more credit, as it turns out. It's still gonna fall off really hard. It's just it got some early palm levels, so I may as well use it for what it's worth while we're here. Oh, cool, a fan.
The time has come. We'll have to catch up at some other time, though good to see you anyway.
It's the time has come to not catch up with until some other time. Okay.
You brazen wretches ought to have turned back.
You definitely ought.
Thanks, Zagreus. You're definitely contributing to the taunting there. Yeah, it definitely feels like this build is gonna fall off really hard unless I get a good something really to pop it off. I mean, that's why Chiron doesn't do super well with fight deadline, but it is a very safe aspect because you can basically run away from the enemies and just say, look at that. Look at how much distance I had between me and that enemy, and still could hit it with the special. The range on this aspect is ridiculous. So I think it was my first ever weapon to clear 32 heat, and for a good reason. It is just an incredibly safe weapon, all things considered. Because you can... I got another level on Snowburst. I have not gotten a single level on anything other than Snowburst, and from the looks of it, a single level on... Where is the thing? Am I dumb? No, okay, I'm not. HP, Infernal Trove, God Gauge, none of that is needed. Like, I have not gotten a single level. What is the RNG on that Kiwi? If I cared enough to calculate it, I would. I don't, though. But it's kind of ridiculous what has happened to me. And there's Ares again. This is unlucky, let's say. I don't think I want Ares, although Urge to Kill might be nice. Or what is the ability that increases Battle Rage? No, I think it's Urge to Kill. I guess Ares and Artemis I hold out for, maybe? I had wanted to do Poseidon. Let's do it.
I'll pay for that.
That's a pretty high level slicing shot. So it was Urge to Kill that I wanted, which gives 10% more damage to all your damage. But I didn't get it. I think I will take Slicing Shot here for... I guess we'll go for the Demeter...
To fight.
The Demeter and Ares duo with it, I guess.
Hope I didn't keep you waiting, ladies.
Look at this awful piece of trash come here again to bleed all over our nice shiny floor. Ready to fight my lovely sister there, Redblood?
Yes.
He's not so awful once you get to know him, sis. Not that it matters for what we're about to do.
The both of you disgust me, Meg, you know that? Get it together and kill him this time, damn you!
She is mad about our relationship.
Ready?
Yeah, see, our special only does 90 damage, which we really need a boon on it, and fast. So yeah, I think the thing is, even if I go Artemis, will she really be that much of a damage up is really the question, and I don't feel confident that she will be. Maybe it would be safer to go Dionysus, but that's so boring. Like, that's the easy route. I've had enough easy runs. I ran the Eris rail 2 times in the last, like, 5 runs, which is about as easy as I could ask it to be. Oh, granted, we did run Gilgamesh, too, and I'm super bad at Gilgamesh. Although the run went fine overall, I would say. But, I don't know. Maybe it's for the best. If I think we've gotten a lot of defensive boons as it is. I'm probably fine to play a little gimmicky, even if it's not the safest. I think again, we're playing one of the safest builds in the run. The only thing I'm concerned about is DPS and time. Especially once we get to Elysium, and if there are shielders spawning, they're going to be a pain in the butt to deal with.
Ugh, that one.
This was, all things considered, not the slowest Tartarus, but definitely up there.
Did you enjoy the stint in Tartarus?
I guess it was. It was still a sub
see here.
6 minute Tartarus, so it really wasn't as bad as it felt, but it felt bad. I think part of it, you know, the reason why is because we got a Thanatos room. That's why. We'll take the Artemis Keepsake. Let's see what her special does. I'm not expecting a miracle, but we can see what we get. And I'll take this extra HP. It's a cheap Centaur heart. Anything I want to sell? I honestly kind of want to sell Snowburst out of spite for it sucking up all of our palm levels, but it's not being offered to sell, so oh well. I guess I could have sold Bronze Skin there. 5% damage reduction really doesn't do that much for us, but nah. Yeah, we'll just keep our boons for now. We'll see if I even have the coin to afford a Titan Blood at the end of the floor anyway, or at the end of the run.
Just need to get from here across all that.
Yeah. One thing I've discovered since I was kind of talking about audio balancing and audio quality is because it's kind of hard to explain because I don't really understand the physics behind it, but when you are close to a mic, minor differences in distance really matter. Meaning, like if I start right up against the mic, or if I start up, let's say, a foot away from the mic, or maybe that's a little bit too generous. If I start like 3 or 4 inches away from the mic, and I move a couple inches further away or closer, that equates to a pretty sizable change in the overall sound, like volume of the recording. And so what I'm trying to do is move a little bit further back. Ooh, Eurydice. I think let's take Eurydice and take her increased boon rarity boon. That way we can hopefully get a stronger special right away, seeing as we don't have the actual boon that we're looking for anyway.
Hey, what's the matter, Your Royal Majesty?
I missed my ambrosia chance.
You're looking kind of down. Normally, you're all smiles for whatever reason.
Oh, well, looking back, all the stuff between you and Orpheus, I realized, well, I hope I wasn't too pushy about the whole thing. It wasn't any of my business to pry into your personal life. I should have asked.
Oh, that? Come on, don't even worry about it. If you were being too pushy, you better believe I would have put you back in your place, royalty or not. But hey, can't ever be too careful when it comes to people's past and feelings and stuff, right?
Yeah, I could definitely see Eurydice telling us piss off. I think she did at the start, honestly, but she kind of warmed up to us the more we visited. Alright, so we're going to take Refreshing Nectar. The next 3 boons have an increased chance of being upgraded rarity.
Sounds good.
And a fish for us as well. Okay, a key will help us with rerolls so we can potentially get some sort of gimmicky duo. But I don't think the Demeter Ares duo is going to win us this run.
Another flame eater?
It'll just be fun to have, but it won't win us anything special.
Bye now.
Anyway, so basically what I've noticed is, especially when I'm doing audio balancing, and especially when I'm doing voice acting, I have a habit of starting in a neutral position and then slowly slouching forward. And on the one hand, that's not terrible, but you do start to recognize how much it affects the audio balancing in terms of what your volume is, because I can see through a recording I'll have like a third of the video being at one starting volume, and then it shifts a couple decibels up or down, and I don't usually balance those sections separately just because I do not have the time to do that level of like quality care. That's why when I was doing the Undertale recordings, they took so long, was because I did try to put in that level of care. And honestly, like doing a more casual voice acting around the Pokemon playthrough has been very pleasant, and it's helped me figure out what I might do with Undertale once I start recording it again.
This isn't good.
Oh, I might have taken some levels of middle management from the look of Civic, because I don't think she can teleport normally. Oh yeah, we definitely have levels of middle management on here, which is the Pact of Punishment curse, or whatever you want to call it. The Pact of Punishment pact that causes us to have mini bosses with additional effects. On all fine, doesn't really change too much for us because we're not fighting that many mini bosses. Just makes things a little bit more risky. Yeah, oof. I think learning's going to be rough if this is going to be our DPS for now. Hopefully we do get the good Artemis special, and if we get pressure points, or not pressure points, if we get support fire as a second boon after that, I think we'll be sitting pretty, because that'll.
You found me, Artemis.
You're pretty close with Ares, aren't you? And here they said it couldn't be done. If I were you, I'd watch myself with him.
Artemis is wary of all of her relatives. Okay, that's pretty decent. A 76% increased damage with a 20% chance to crit. I'd say that's pretty phenomenal. But anyway, so
I'm rich.
At base, our special is doing about 10 damage a hit. And every time it hits, if we get support fire, it will fire another little bonus arrow. There may be like a internal cooldown that makes it slightly less than that, but still the overall damage will increase fairly substantially. I mean, it's already increased fairly substantially, given every time we crit, that's a 3 times damage modifier, I'm pretty sure, which is fairly substantial, to say the least. Okay, ooh, this feels so much better. Thank you, Artemis. Thanks, Artemis. Alright.
There he is.
Still not perfect, but much stronger.
But a moment of your time here, boss, and you'll more than make up for it right quick. You got my guarantee.
All right, let's see what we got. Special, special fire is faster. But, 3 more dashes is also really tasty. I think for this build, the special speed is more valuable, though, because we're going to be firing that out. We need to spam that as much as possible. HP or coin. We're already at 225 HP, so I'm going to take the coin here.
To the next one.
Again, with bronze skin giving us a minor damage reduction. I forget if we took the Stubborn Roots duo with between, I think it's Athena and Demeter or not. I don't think I'm at any risk of dying on this run beyond like an occasionally dropped Death Defiance, but I'm not going to lose the run. This is, if nothing else, I have a ridiculous capacity for playing extremely safe. So I think we're fine in that regard. I'm going to pop a Demeter call there just to kill those guys that I left behind while dealing with the witches. There we go. And the shop, HP, Chaos Gate. All right, let's think about this. What would Chaos offer us that I would want? Cast damage, cast gem, if we do get any fancy casts, I suppose. Alternatively, special damage up. I guess because we're basing it on crit, that could be decent. Sure, let's take a Chaos Gate. Athena or the shop. So I think this is the free room before the final boss of the floor. I don't think Athena really offers as much here, so I'll take the shop and see if we can get either another Ares or Artemis going. Or maybe Poseidon will just randomly pop up. Actually, I guess he can't because we're at our 4 gods now. Athena. So I could have gotten a free Athena or I could have bought Athena. I guess I'm going to take neither and say, well, unlucky. We'll save our coin. Elysium might offer us something better.
How was the magma temperature lately, Lerny?
I think it's pretty warm. All right, pop our casts, toss that. And so it is fun to see a bunch of 53 crits in a row. I would still posit that our DPS overall isn't outstanding, but that Artemis boon was very huge for making it feel not unplayable, I suppose is how I would describe it. Gonna go collect my cast gems and toss them this way. I will say these casts like Blade Rift are really rough to use against Lerny if you don't position properly, because you can just lose your cast gem to the lava if you're not careful. We'll go ahead and toss all these casts here so that they start shredding through Lerny. Did a solid 350 damage, I think, there, which isn't a much compared to what our special is doing now. I'm gonna hold my Demeter call until this phase, probably. If I can get a fully charged one, that would be great. That's one head down. I'm surprised I wasn't standing in the lava there. It looked like I was. All right, we're almost at full charge. Once I'm at full charge, I'm gonna just drop it.
They shall have nothing.
Just to help me speed along these heads. It'll get, the AoE on her call is so huge, I'm not worried about it missing Lerny from this distance. Like, look at that. That AoE is so big. And there we go. Another Lerny down. So at this point, I think what I'm looking for are mostly Artemis boons, honestly. Support fire is probably going to be the biggest like initial DPS up, but getting more crit chance with pressure points or marked
Short work of the Hydra, then, I take it.
are probably going to be our best options for further DPS output. In the meantime, I could take the Cosmic Egg because I know I'm guaranteed a Chaos Gate at this point. And the Well of Charon may offer us a second Ixion. What is it? Ixion Gate. So, alternatively, what would I take? Ares for some more Ares boons? Nah, not really. I think, yeah, why don't we go ahead and take the Cosmic Egg here? Just to mitigate some of the damage and potentially get a rarer. I think it gives us an increased rarity, right? Yeah, it gives us like an increased rarity chance on the Chaos boon. And since we haven't seen many other boons, I think it'll also be affected by the Eurydice buff that we got earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and sell bronze skin. I don't need it. This is fine.
Already.
And let's see, no Ixion Gate. We could take the next boon you find has upgraded rarity though. That could be good. Or ooh, Chimera Jerky. Special does 40% more damage. That would help us clear Elysium a little bit faster, but I think I'm gonna hold on to the coin so that I can potentially afford the Titan Blood in the shop and sticks. And we're still making decent time, all things considered. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. That was a 5-minute asphodel. Asphodel is usually the shortest part of the run, and we did not have a short asphodel if it took us 5 minutes. All right, now comes the part where we're offered a hammer.
My way through that eternal paradise.
Instead of taking a Chaos Gate. Okay, Hermes I'm willing to give up, because he'll show up later.
I bear the cosmic egg.
And I realize now that that would also be the case for the hammer, and I'm not being enticed to take a hammer shop immediately anymore.
I trust the small round catalyst which I provided you has been of value some Hades. It is my hope it makes your journeys to this space less difficult, perhaps inducing them on a more frequent interval.
Alright, what have you got, Chaos? Increased rarity, increased cast, increased HP. None of these are appealing to my current boon. I mean, the cast damage is nice, but I don't think that's ever going to be the bulk of our damage, so I am going to re-roll here.
What else?
Rarity, gold, damage on unstricken foes. I'm going to re-roll one more time. None of this is really appealing, unfortunately. These are all like epic level boons, but they're not giving me what I need.
Any other boons for me?
All right. Oh, there we go. 45% more special, but 35% less dash range for 4 encounters.
Chaos guide me.
I think we can manage that. We're definitely gonna go to the darkness every time we're offered it in terms of like minor boon rooms, because we pretty desperately need darkness for a whole bunch of things. Not even looking at the mirror anymore, because I'm pretty happy with my mirror setup for the most part. It's almost exclusively the fact that we need like 3,000 darkness to unlock that, unlocking a way for Nyx to communicate with Chaos. So it's exclusively story. There may not even be any like actual gameplay benefit to this, but on the other hand, I want that story progression more than I want gameplay progression. We're not running heats that are so high that I have to really be concerned about things being more difficult than that. All right, mid shop or an Athena boon. Athena doesn't really stand to offer us much, but if I'm holding out on coin for sticks, I think I'll take the Athena room just to save up my money.
More bright swords.
Ooh, I got a lot of crits on that guy. All right, you know what? I have written off Artemis's boons as being potentially lackluster just because I don't understand the value of how strong crit can be. But critting, I mean, we say it all the time in competitive Pokemon, crits matter. They really do. It still feels like an overall weak build, but it's fine. So, anything else I can say about the audio bouncing that I was kind of rambling about before? I don't know if there's much more to say, honestly. I'm gonna toss a Demeter call here to damage these things that are off in the background. Alright, so it looks like an individual special shot does 18 damage now at base because of the Artemis boon. Makes sense, because we got almost a 80% increase in damage. I think it was like 76 or 78. Blinding Flash. Bronze skin again, really. Alright, we'll take Blinding Flash. Your abilities that can deflect also make foes exposed. That way, maybe we get some status privilege going. I don't really have a good way. Oh, no, I do now. If I dash to the enemy,
take him now.
If I dash to the enemy and hit them with my attack, I'll be able to apply status privilege. So like this, for example, and that'll increase our damage by 40%. Unfortunately, we have these shield casters, which are always a problem. So we're gonna go ahead and just get rid of all of your shields if I can. Ugh. Doesn't help that I don't have any real good dashing right now. We're a pretty slow kill speed. No. Ooh, saved it. That guy almost regenerated. Wait, is there more? Oh, no. How did you get all the way over there without me noticing, though? Oh, well.
Enough.
Some gems is better than no gems. Oh, and we got a nectar out of that? Interesting. Mini-boss with Demeter. Do I want to fight Asterius? Not really. What does Demeter offer me? I guess duos. There's the potential for duos, so I'll take this. Rear crop would be kind of funny if it hit our special.
Let's see if you can cut through my coat this time.
Would you call that a coat, or are you talking about your hair? Oh, I need to bail out. Like, look at this. I'm just gonna dash away and very safely safe spot him. Having lack of dash range, if this was forced overtime and I had lack of dash range, that would be so scary to deal with his charge move. Oh, right, I forgot he dashes more than once there. Oops. I seem to be dealing with this all right, though. I don't know how long exposed lasts, but I can dash through him, especially when he's doing that. And we've got him slowed down fully now, so he's pretty easy to deal with. All right, that's phase 1. Let's go ahead and toss some casts this way. Oh, never mind. He is so much easier to deal with when he's slowed. I mean, that goes for most enemies. And I imagine that would make forced overtime way more manageable. Like, Demeter's damage output is overall relatively low compared to other gods.
All shall soon decay.
But the slow effect, I disagree with a lot of... I don't know if disagree is incorrect. But I mean, like, when you get to the point where you're good enough at this game, where dodging comes second nature, maybe the chill doesn't matter as much, but when you're learning the game, slowing your opponents down by like 40% is huge and extremely valuable. Freezing Vortex, there we go. Pardon me. Your cast inflicts chill, but is smaller and moves slower. This sounds probably really bad for a non-melee build. Like, it's gonna be hard for me to kite enemies and stay in that vortex to keep them in it. But at least we're checking off another thing on the Fated Prophecy list, so I can't complain too much. That's ultimately why I was hunting for that anyway. Really all I want at this point is just give me support fire. Support fire would be fun. It's probably not going to happen until Styx, because Artemis, we've only seen one Artemis boon this entire run, let's be honest. I appreciate that the cast at least afflicts chill now, because that makes it a little bit more, it makes it easier to keep enemies in your cast. But we have so many ways of inflicting chill between the call, the cast, and the attack now, that it doesn't feel particularly impressive, I would say. I'm dropping this because I hate these chariot enemies, and this one chariot is just on my butt non-stop. Alright, that was a very messy room.
The boon I got from Chaos has a new effect.
On the bright side, I can dash again. Alright, definitely taking coin over HP here. Yeah, I took a lot of HP, a lot of damage, but I'm not actually expecting the heroes fight to go terribly poorly. So I think I'll be able to manage just fine without it. And again, like, what's the worst case scenario? I use a Death Defiance? Oh no, I have 2 more, and I'm unlikely to need to use all of them this run. Very unlikely. Unless I just play so poorly with a build that it's really hard to play poorly with, because I can just fire in the opposite direction, and if there weren't walls in the way, it would just home in on the enemy anyway. Like, again, this is by far one of the safest weapons you can run. I'd say up there with Aspect of Hestia is also a really safe weapon, because you shoot, you run away, you shoot, you play like super campy, I would say, with the Aspect of Hestia. Would you kindly, sir? Oh my god, I hate... I may have to say the chariot, like the full-grown chariots, are among my least favorite enemies to fight. Like, I hate the shielders here with a burning passion as well, but somehow I think the chariots are worse. And yeah, you can get around them by like dodging behind walls, but sometimes it's hard to do that when you're being like targeted by like 5 different enemies, or especially if you have multiple chariots and they're on both sides. And their startup frame does do damage, or maybe not their first startup frame, but their damage comes out very quickly if you're standing near them, which makes them incredibly dangerous around melee builds. I should really try and palm the special if I can. So if I do see a palm room, that next time I probably will take it instead of what I did here. I don't even remember what the offered reward was. That's where I'm at right now. I have not been sleeping well this week. I think in part because of work, in part because medical insurance is an abject nightmare. Hooray!
Welcome.
But regardless, I'm catching up on it. I'm going to be hopefully a little bit more functional after the next 2 days. I only have two days off before my very busy work week. But that is like the really last big harumph before I am set free for the winter months, and I can go back to doing some more creative things on this channel. Like, I'm very much looking forward to... I will probably finish out the Pokemon series before I go back to Undertale, but I might maybe post an episode of Undertale over the weekend every now and again. I'm not really sure. I'm very much in an experimental phase of I don't know what I want to do, frankly, and I'm trying to figure it out. But I'm gonna find something that works for me and for Kiwi, and that's what matters most.
Why, thank you.
It is kind of crazy to think I'm officially coming up on the year anniversary of when I started uploading videos on this channel, though. Come a long way, I have to say. Hyper Sprint or Greatest Reflex? I think the extra dash sounds more appealing to me.
And here we go.
Oh. Okay, this is... I heard a fish. Let's start by thinking about fish, and then we can think about what we want from there. I will take the Chimera Jerky here, because that will definitely help us against the bosses.
Fishing time, then.
And if we do get offered an Artemis boon in the final shop, I will purchase it, because again, I'm hunting for support fire pretty badly.
There. Huzzah.
Huzzah, indeed, a card. Let's see. So it's Patroclus versus a trial of Athena and Ares. Ares could give us some nice boons that benefit our cast, but that's about it. And I think I'm more interested in the story with Patroclus. This feels like a much more casual run. I'm not doing something super challenging and gimmicky.
The gods despise us, each in turn, to have divided us like this.
I'm not doing something so gimmicky that I think I need something extra special here.
He's just as obstinate as ever, isn't he? Always refused to budge. He ever tell you of the war in which we fought? I fought, I should say. He could have ended it, but he refused to take up arms.
Achilles hasn't been particularly forthcoming about his mortal days, no. So he wouldn't fight. I've heard that mortals sometimes frown on that, but why should he have fought if he didn't believe in the cause?
He shared our cause. So what if it was not completely his? If not for his stubbornness, I would have come here just a bit later, I think.
He blames himself for what happened to you, you know. I figured he failed to defend you or something, not that he didn't fight at all. Although he said something about how, once you died, he shortly followed in a rage.
I wouldn't know a thing about that, stranger, for you see, I was already dead. Getting my place here in the afterlife all sorted out. Took quite some time, getting accustomed to all this.
Alright, so Kiss of Six is useless because we have all of our Death Defiances. It's either going to be the HP here, but I don't think I need it. I'm going to take the Cyclops Jerky for the 60% increased damage, I think.
It's something, right?
Alright, Shop or Demeter? I think we take Shop and hope for Artemis. Alright, let's see. Oh my god, go away, Athena. You are not wanted anymore. I barely wanted you to begin with. Yeah, I'm not buying that. Alright, hopefully we at least see one or two Artemises on Styx. Probably not, but it would be nice.
It's time, Asterius. Let us assert our greatness through single-minded combat.
Single-minded is a very good description, Theseus. Alright, we'll toss out the cast here at Asterius. Get him as frozen as we can. Kite him around these things so he dashes through them and gets slowed and takes whatever damage he does while passing through.
I do not fear you, fiend. Your presence is a stain upon Elysium.
Fortunately, these walls are very much getting in the way. But like, we don't even see him on screen and I can safe spot him from that much distance. Like, again, it can't be understated how relatively safe the aspect of Chiron is. Its biggest weakness is its lack of damage, and so that's why I think going a gimmick build with like a Dionysus special would make it do its best potentially. Oh goodness, I am a little bit ashamed for getting clipped by that, honestly. It's impressive that he took this long to use his big spinny move, let's be honest. I definitely want to finish off Asterius first. Theseus, I can just avoid his AoEs. Theseus in this version of himself is kind of what we call a zoner. Like if we're talking about fighting games, he creates a zone of impassable terrain, basically. You cannot go here unless you want to take a whole lot of damage.
What now, Phil?
Alright.
You prepared to be sent screaming back to the hellish darkness?
Alright, Theseus. I probably should have just used that in the center of the stage, but this is fine. Yeah, you're too slow. Come on, step it up. I honestly think I'm going to use Boldy here just for the sake of not risking any further damage. I'll use it on when he phases, though, so that I don't accidentally waste some damage. Because once he phases, you can't like damage him further until he plays his little angry animation where he summons his call. There we go. All right, so let's hold out. We'll toss some casts. 3, 2, 1.
Lord Dionysus, give me strength.
I don't need Dionysus. I've got Boldy. What? Indeed. What was that sound? All right, well, we didn't do nearly as much damage as I would have liked. I hope he didn't block the damage. He very well could have. See, it seems the way Theseus' shield works is sometimes a little weird. Not necessarily inconsistent, but definitely weird. Apparently, it can block Meg. Yeah, apparently it can block Meg's attack with the Chthonic Keepsake.
That'll do. Hope you enjoyed the show, my good shade.
All right, but that's heroes and not a death spent. Very much thanks to our good man Boldy. Okay. At this point, I really don't have much to gain from any other gods. It's really just a matter of, I guess distant memory would be decent because 20% more damage to distant foes sounds fairly enticing. We won't really get to benefit from it in the chambers of Styx, but once we get to Hades, we'll be able to abuse that a bit better. So yeah, why don't I take distant memory here? And then I could just sell Freezing Vortex. That would give us a whole lot of gold. And I'm not using it that well, honestly. Might be worth it. Yeah, let's do that and see if we can buy some fun boons in the next floor. May as well sell the cast as well then, you know. All right, I could buy that. I'll buy that HP, sure. And upgraded rarity, sure. Prometheus Stone. I guess we just gave up our cast. I don't need that. All right, on to the next floor.
That was Elysium.
We can easily buy the Titan Blood.
Yes.
But I'll probably buy a good boon if it's offered by Artemis first. There's no, I can pretty confidently say I can get the coin that I would make up for it if we are offered something decent. Especially if they're going to give us 3 gold pots like that. 45 gold right there. Easy peasy. All right, let's see. Of course it's Ares and Athena because they are just desperate for my attention. Thankfully, they gave us at least one Artemis. Let's go with Artemis first, then we'll round out on the hammer, and then we will go from there. Also, a fun little bit of information that I discovered. So, in previous episodes, I had been under the assumption that there's an equal 20% chance for every chamber for the Centaur blood to show up. That is not actually true. The way it works is you are never going to find the Titan, or not the Titan blood, the Satyr sac. You will never find the Satyr sac on the first, in the first chamber. It's just not possible. You need to complete a certain number of chambers before it's found. So if you actually like pause the game, I think you can see it if you pause the game. 1 second. This is not a ideal situation to pause the game in because it doesn't actually pause the way where I need to look at least. But when I can pause, basically you'll see that every 12 chambers effectively is when the boss shows up for the floor. There are some exceptions to that, like probably Erebus gates or like a Chaos gate that is given like right before the final shop potentially. But in general, the bosses show up in multiples of 12 rooms. Where's the poison cure? There it is. Okay, not a fan of this. I'm gonna go ahead and toss this so they're a bit slow. Man, those lasers are far-reaching. Can't believe that thing did not die, yeah. This is what I meant, like, the further we get in, the more our damage will fall off. Which is why I would have loved to see a palm. We see palms now, I just never, like, thought about it until it was too late. Alright, Artemis, please give me something good. Cast, Hunter's Mark, Hunter's Instinct. Hunter's Mark is really good, and I probably should take that as the objectively best option.
Let's see what else.
No, she's not giving us support, Fire Kiwi. Oh well. I guess we take Hunter's Mark. 60%. After you deal critical damage to a foe near it is marked, which increases crit chance by 60%. Won't help us against Hades if he doesn't have friends, but when he does have friends, it'll be pretty good. I guess with him constantly spawning... With him constantly spawning his little cast gems, it'll work. Anyway, here, if we see... So see in the upper right, it says Chamber 43. So we need, I think, at least 8 chambers after 36, which would be 42.
Got to find something
so you cannot find the Satyr sac until you've exceeded, I think, 42 chambers. Which basically guarantees it can't be until after the first the first chamber of sticks. All right, let's go ahead and collect our hammer. And then after that, the next chamber you run has a 54, I think it was, % chance of spawning the satyr sack. And then each subsequent room that you clear has further increased chance of spawning a satyr sack. To the point where if you have an unlucky 5 chamber sticks, it's about a 2% chance of that happening. And we have definitely seen that happen on this run. So I sold the bronze skin again, or I think it was bronze skin, yeah. This 5% damage reduction means basically nothing to us in this build at this point. If we're gonna get hit, we're gonna, what is 5% damage? It's like next to nothing. For a lot of these hits, it may only equate to it'll equate to like a single digit amount of damage, reduced at most, maybe like 1 or 2 damage, which certainly adds up if you're getting hit, but not against the big meaty hits of the enemies in sticks.
Found it fast this time.
So it's really not that impressive to me. 1 satyr sack, 1 hammer.
Never get enough of this stuff.
All right, let's see. I think we'll take perfect shot. Your power shot is easier to execute and deals 150% damage.
Drawn tight. Enough of this place.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and buy out the shop. Sadly, no Titan blood here. Now, who do I want from this? What if I said I don't actually have that much interest in the gods when I could just take boons and hopefully get them on the special?
Thank you, mate.
Cool, that's a almost 30% increased damage on the special.
Better blessing.
And there's another 10. Excellent. All right, so we can't afford Hermes anymore, so we'll just take this. Why don't we just buy bronze skin back? Because I don't really care about anything else. That's so silly. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I don't think I need to take any extra chambers. This has not been the most enthusiastic run.
The Hound of Hell accepts another satyr sack.
So let's go ahead and round out this run, have our win on Hades, and call it a day.
Bye for now, boy.
Although I'm definitely recording at least 1 more Hades, and then I'm going to switch into Pokemon if I have the time. Kiwi is still sleeping. She's actually sleeping in today. I think I had talked previously in the series that we're readjusting our sleep schedule. But it's the weekend, and
it's kind of nice out here.
Neither of us are sleeping well, so sleeping in is the preferred option this weekend while we can.
I see it's time again that we begin our bloody business here.
That's a lot of B's with emphasis on them there, Hades. Alright, so I'm going to toss my cast, I'm going to hit him with an attack, and then we're going to spam our special like no tomorrow. Or not. Dad. There you are.
Observe.
Our crits are for 100 damage, or why is it sometimes 98? Oh, you know what? It's probably because I need to hit him. I need to get status privilege back on him. That was unfortunate. Alright, so if I crit this... Oh, I should have waited till he spawned in here. Okay, so this is what we do. We tag that, we hit that, it crit. Now, he didn't get Hunter's Mark. Interesting. Oh well, this is fine. Our TPS seems fairly decent either way. I'm going to toss the call here to try and DPS out some of these things that spawned in. Oh, that was 76 damage. That's my fault. I could have dodged that. He really doesn't seem to get Hunter's Mark cast on him, even though I'm critting the enemies around him. Maybe his little cast stones don't count, which would be sad if that's the case. No matter. I'll just focus on DPSing him, keeping him as slow as possible to easily dodge his attacks, and making sure that I remember to put a cast stone in him for the 10% increased damage. And dashing through him occasionally to get the status privilege effect on him.
I do not
finally have an activity we can do together.
Ah, yes, indeed.
I love the little father-son bonding conversations they have. They're really cute. I am really loving to eat his little skull casts, though. I think he had Hunter's Mark. Maybe it's just I clear Hunter's Mark really fast because of how maybe it gets cleared after a single hit. I feel like it lasts for it's supposed to last for a certain period of time rather than getting cleared on a single hit, but I'm not sure. But easy peasy. Yeah, I took a lot of hit, but I'm fine.
We are not finished. No more.
I am very thankful for the little bit of ramping up time that happens on the on his laser attack. It's also letting me get a lot of free hits on him. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. Alright, we've got the fully charged call now. I'll hold out for a second phase because we're almost there already. Save all that slow and damage for then. I don't really even care if I get hit, let's be honest. Alright, that was his phase. He just didn't really say anything.
You brought this on yourself.
It's funny, but I can do this to hit him. Because I had tagged him before he started lasering, I got behind the wall and then I was just safe. Alright, here's my challenge for myself. Can I clear this without a Death Defiance living on 1 HP? Because why not? That is pretty funny that we have 1 HP here. Fortunately, I think he's going to get those explosions off. That's fine. But, like, it really is a matter of if I wanted to play safe, I absolutely could. I just don't need to, necessarily. Uh-oh. I might get clipped by that. Nope, we're good. And there we go. Surviving on 1 HP, no deaths.
You think that you're the only one who shall keep fighting?
Nope, I know full well we'll both keep fighting. That's kind of the nature of this game.
You fought well.
GG, no re. Alright. This was a, pretty darn weak run, all things considered. Oh well. Get out of here, Snowburst. You don't deserve to be on this list. I am so upset about that Snowburst. All right, here, special. I don't even know at this point. Like, none of this really mattered. Special is faster. There we go. Everything that says special. Cool. All right, we're officially up to 20 in the win streak, which is pretty cool. Let's go home and round out the run.
He cannot kill me like this every time, believes the Underworld Prince. He shall eventually have no more ideas. But the Prince, as often is the case, is wrong.
I genuinely wonder how many of these there are. I'd like to think at least 100, because that just makes me laugh. But, I'll look it up and maybe talk about it in the next episode, because I'm actually genuinely curious.
Thank you everyone, you're too kind.
You're welcome. Ah, Hypnosis, I guess taking a break somewhere else for a change.
Thanatos, I've meant to ask, is it really the case that many mortals have a crippling fear of death?
It is. I'm quite feared up there. Most of them cannot distinguish between me and, say, Lord Ares, or your father even. We fill them with despair. No helping it.
Why not? I mean, isn't it kind of a big problem that they have such negative associations here? Can't we, I don't know, do something to educate them all?
Kiwi, I know you're listening to this and just immediately thinking about Ask a Mortician. Anyone else who's listening in and has never watched Ask a Mortician, if you have any interest about, like, what's called the ceremonies and mentalities around death, she's a very interesting channel. She has several books. Her name's Caitlin Dowdy, I believe. Definitely recommend checking it out if that's your cup of tea.
We've all the time to educate them here. Their ignorance of death is solved almost as soon as they experience their first. Though I suppose they might be better off knowing before the fact.
Yeah, seriously.
It's fun. It's easy for you guys to say you're immortal. You don't have to worry about death being a lasting consequence.
Medusa, I wanted to apologize for when I pried about your past. I just wanted to get to know you better, but I was insensitive and I'm sorry.
Oh, Your Highness, Zagreus, come on. Don't even worry about it. I'd already forgotten. Really, no big deal. It's just the past me. It's as though it wasn't even me. This is me now. I'm glad I'm here.
And I'm glad too.
Aw, that's sweet. It really is cool how this game has, like, you're still, I'm almost 70 runs into this game and I'm still getting new dialogue.
I know that it's a painful subject, sir, but can you tell me what exactly happened in the war that claimed Patroclus and yourself? He brought it up, said you refused to fight.
Until he died. I did refuse to fight until he died. But at that point... Look, lad. If we're going to discuss these matters, best we do so in the lounge, not here.
The transition to the lounge makes me think that we're... The transition to the lounge makes me think that we're coming up on finishing this storyline, potentially. Pardon me. My allergies are acting up today, unfortunately.
The fool of a king I served. I'd never take up arms for him. But Patroclus, he always had a different way of looking at things. As I refused to fight, he rose to the occasion, took up my armor, led my brothers into battle in my guise, fought nobly. But then he, well,
after you found out, you sought vengeance for him. Took vengeance.
That I did. They got me finally, of course. But not before I broke them first. The war soon ended after that. It is an awful contradiction that to quickly end war, one need only extinguish many lives at once. I had not...
Did you allow yourself to die so that you could see Patroclus again here?
He said I did not realize it would be that way. Or I did not realize that sooner. Sorry about that.
I don't know. Maybe. I only know that I was filled with rage. Rage that subsided soon after I arrived here. I felt empty. I never saw Patroclus again. But I learned my brothers honored my last request, as my ashes were laid to rest with his. Anyway, appreciate the drink. Suppose I'd best be getting back to standing quietly about. Though that war, lad. Don't ask me about it again. All right?
Of course.
It's a pretty sad story, the way they write it here.
The prince and Cerberus exchange a look.
But I think, I mean, I know we'll get them reunited soon enough, so I'm very excited to see how that pans out. I want to see them kind of reconnect and heal with each other. Look at that, Dad finally has some new dialogue.
Your reports have been much more punctual of late, Hypnos. That is to be expected. However, the illustrated edges, a clever detail, ensures certain reports are easily procured from a stack of parchment.
I hope this leads into Hypnos just saying, I like to doodle.
Oh, thanks, Master. Glad you like those. Ever since Thanatos made pretty clear to me I was about to lose my job, I started keeping a list of my own tasks, which I sort through each day, deciding on priority, estimating time to completion, cost-benefit analysis.
So this is a little bit of an interesting thing that might be very subtle and hard to pick up on, but I do kind of hear like a metallic echo in Hypnos' voice, which I think is just because of the microphone. Like, I think I've talked about this, especially with Pokemon lately. I've been paying, I mean, I talked about it at the start of this episode. I've been paying attention to the minor setup changes that affect audio quality. Being super close against the microphone, compressing it to try and keep it from certain volume peaks. And so that little bit of echoey metallic, I wonder if it has to do with the microphone that the voice actor for Hypnos used. The other big thing I notice, especially when I'm balancing audio, is like when Hades delivers his lines and has like the heavy hitting consonants like P's and B's where it's a p or a p, where you're making a puff of air with your lips. I can definitely see that it kind of peaks on the recording when I'm looking at the audio balancing. Just little tidbits, like I have so little knowledge of this field, so I am not going to say like it's bad or it's good. It's just observations that I'm making that I have been trying to be consciously aware and change in my own production.
Yes, well, certainly then you have a number of such tasks requiring your attention. Continue working diligently then.
I'm so happy for Hypnos to be praised by his boss.
Okay.
Oh, and a new conversation with Orpheus, too. Cool.
Hey, Orpheus, you know, I'm very happy that things turned out well between you and Eurydice, but looking back, I think I might have overstepped my bounds with you a bit and wanted to say I'm sorry.
You're sorry, Zagreus? Whatever for? If not for you, I fear I never would have seen my muse again.
Well, it's just, when I met her and I found out the two of you were having problems, I just wanted to see you patch things up. But it wasn't any of my business, and you never asked my help. Neither did she. I could have made things worse.
But you didn't make things worse, my friend. And, truth be told, I do not think I ever would have asked for help at any point, because I don't entirely know how. So I am grateful to you and your generous instinct.
That feeling right there, not knowing how to ask for help. Oh boy, do I feel that.
Well, thank you also, mate. I heard lately from the goddess Athena, Nyx. She seems to admire you. I thought Olympians didn't like our kind.
They typically do not. But you are family, child. And I I believed Athena wise enough to understand why someone such as I would seek her in particular. She has in turn made others in her family aware.
You make a good team.
Mm-hmm. Good job, Than.
Thanatos, the featured house servant.
Alright, I've gotten more keys, but I'm sitting pretty well on nectar, so I'll hold off on spending those right now.
Do what you will with these, my good chef.
And the chef provides us with 2 nectar, 40 gem, 5 keys.
Alright then.
Alright then, indeed. Alright, I think unless... Oh, hi, Mom, in the garden.
There you are. The pomegranate trees are coming in nicely still. The tough old things.
I almost said just like you, and I don't think anyone, especially a woman, would like to hear that. I don't think Mom would take kindly to us making ageist remarks. Anyway, oh, it wants us to run the rail again. Oh goodness, should I do another Eris rail run? Because I've been having so much fun with those. It's kinda tempting, Kiwi. I'll think about this off camera.
Can't break these bones, pal. What? You just try it.
Okay, if you insist. Training dummy Skelly. Anyway, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. In the next one, we'll be running the rail. I'll figure out what aspect I feel like running at the time. But with all that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.